Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. And Leeds United fans, you've probably seen the title and you're probably a little bit annoyed maybe at me, but I've got to be honest, that's the whole point of this channel. And I think it's a discussion that you'll probably agree with a lot of it, because I feel like it's over for Leeds United, especially after a result like that. And the result itself, it's one of those where, look, this is Chelsea. Chelsea away from home. You've got a team that's finishing third, had title aspirations, spends exorbitant amounts of money. That's not the game where you get relegated. But I just can't see how you get out of this now. Let's have a look at the table as it stands at the moment. 36 games for Leeds United, 34 points. Burnley with 34, but they've got an extra game, and Everton as well. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I can't see Leeds getting out of this, why I can't see them actually getting another win, why I certainly can't see them getting the 4 points needed to get themselves out of it, and also why I think Everton will stumble across the line. And Everton, obviously a really frustrating game for them, and that's probably the one slither of hope that you have. And to be honest, I feel like Everton are out of this, and we'll dive into that as well. So Everton fans, congratulations, because it does feel like you're nearly there. I know that's really dangerous for me to say, and you're not completely there. We'll dive into all of it, but let's start off with Leeds United, because the game today, the Chelsea game, that's not why you're going to get relegated. There's a few reasons why you're going to get relegated, and the way I look at it, it's a bit of a house of cards. Now, I did a video at the start of the year, and a lot of people feel free to send me screenshots of the thumbnail of it, because it's talking about second season syndrome and why that won't occur to Leeds United. I was talking with Dan Ashworth at the time, psychologist, sports psychologist, and he was sort of suggesting that with the team as it is, with everybody fit, utilising Bielsa ball, second season syndrome won't happen, because the chemistry's there, and also they play at such a high intensity that any kind of lack of confidence will dissipate, because there isn't time to think about it, because of the high octane style that Leeds United had with Marcelo Bielsa. So first of all, it wasn't me saying there wouldn't be a second season syndrome, it was him. But the point that he was making, which was a valid point, doesn't take into a lot of the variables that we just can never talk about before a season starts. And when I talk about house of cards for Leeds United, that's what I'm talking about. The problem is that, are Leeds United the sum of the parts? Are Leeds United the sum of the parts? I think a lot of people would suggest that. But actually, as the season has revealed itself, they're not. They are quite a weak squad, which I think we were aware of, but due to the unique style of play and to the individuals that were able to play that style of play, the likes of Stuart Dallas, the likes of Liam Cooper at centre-back, but more so the likes of Calvin Phillips, the likes of Rafinha in that role as well, but so importantly, Patrick Bamford. And Patrick Bamford, the goals that he scored, he had the season of his life last year. And so when you take away so many aspects of it, the style of play from Bielsa wasn't outrageously bad. It was proven that it could work the season before. But the house of cards is that if you don't have the personnel to play this team game, this man-marking game, then it falls apart. And then the next thing that I want to show you is this. Now, this is last season. Leeds United had 61 yellow cards, which is quite a lot. This season, they've had, and of course, I've had another red card today. Oh, sorry, I've done the wrong thing. Where are we? This season, they've had an outrageous amount. Let me show you. This season, they're on 97 yellow cards. So again, when I come back to this idea of house of cards just toppling, you have a thin squad. You have a squad that isn't added to by the owners, who deserve to take huge critique on that. Bielsa wants a big squad, doesn't want a big squad. Come on. You've got to be careful, especially for a team that plays at such a high intensity and is so susceptible to getting injuries for that exact reason. And even when you get to January, again, you've got to reinforce somewhat, because this Leeds squad hasn't cost a lot of money. And some of the signings, I mean, the Daniel James one, I just didn't really get it at the time. I guess I get it in terms of the profile, but they needed a striker. Get a backup striker in. Because when I watched Leeds, and yes, they had 10 men in this game for a long period, but time and again, there's no focal point. And when you've got a focal point, that gives you somewhere to start. And this is the thing, and this is why Everton have got themselves out of it. What Frank Lampard has done with Everton is he's understood you guys aren't good enough to go and win a game right now. Today was the perfect example of that against a terrible Watford side that had 7 changes. Everton had to go and win the game and were incapable of doing it. But what they were capable of doing is getting 7 points in the last 3 games. And the way they were able to do that was through hard work and through stopping the opposition and making it a really difficult game. So in terms of, last time I say house of cards, I promise, you've got all these bookings, which leads to suspensions. You've got a thin squad, so you don't have the reinforcements. You have injuries to key players because of the high octane style of play, which isn't a bad way of playing. But if you want to play that way, you need the numbers. And you look at that Leeds team, and again, they had a man sent off, and talk about reckless tackles and challenges. What is Dan James doing for that? I mean, it's absolutely outrageously bad. It's just stupid. Yeah, he wins the ball, but oh Christ, it's definitely a red card. But you bring all those bits together, and you don't have a backup plan where you can go, like Frank Lampard has done, and it's bared fruit, of going, okay, we're going to, yes, might not win this game, but we're not going to lose it. And we're going to go 0-0, and we'll go from there. And from there, you can build that element of confidence, or at least release the pressure just that little bit. And this Leeds United side is incapable of doing that because they don't have a fucking striker. That had to have been resolved in January. I thought they would survive. I thought they'd be okay. But even, the Norwich victory, the Wolves victory, in that little period of time where it was one of those ones where I was like, should you got rid of Bielsa? Maybe. Are there other factors? Yes, we've just gone through them. But he had this easy run of games on its way. Jesse Marsch made some nice little moves there. I wouldn't have a go at Jesse Marsch in any way, shape or form. I think what he's done in terms of that double pivot, that makes sense. But then you go and lose someone like Stuart Dallas. Bamford's still watching from the sidelines as well, as I've said. All these injuries just makes it so hard to get a footing. And so when you can't get a footing, you need another way of playing. And the high press, if you're in that bottom 6 teams, you need to have a way of getting points to get the confidence to give yourself a chance. And now, as we look at the games that are remaining, this is the reason why I think it's over for them. A couple of reasons. First of all, Everton, let's go there. Everton, with the matches that they've got left, 2 of those are at home. 2 of those are at home, and that's really, really important. And I think I can see them getting a victory in one of those. The crowd roaring them on, of course. That Everton game, that Watford game was an away game. They are so much better at home. And in those 3 games, you think of the 7 points that they'd already got. Palace, Brentford, at home, I think you've got a really good shot there of getting that victory. And also that ability to mix it up. That ability to have Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top, Gordon, but also that energy of stopping the opposition. What could be difficult for Everton is, can they break down another team? Because they've proven today that they're still not there when it comes to that. Brentford might come and have a go. Crystal Palace will certainly have a go, and that might leave a few spaces there. And if it gets to that final game, so be it. But I think it will be done by then. The reason for that is this. When I look at Leeds and their last 2 games, I think they need a minimum of 4 points. And I might be wrong. Burnley might lose all 3. And so if that happens, look, 1 victory will get them over the line. And so I might be wrong. I've been wrong several times this season. But these 2 games are actually so much harder than you think. So first of all, Leeds United will play against the Brighton Hove Albion side, who are absolutely flying right now in terms of how they play. Very well drilled. I will come out against them. And look, it's a home game as well. That gives them a chance. But this is a Brighton side that isn't kind of on the beach. They're enjoying their greatest ever points haul in the Premier League. And I think they want to do as well as they can in these last final games. I think you saw that in Brighton's last game against Man United. So that is a hell of a tough game with very competent players and in a tense atmosphere when you're low on numbers as well. That's a really, really tough game. Much harder than people will give it credit for. And then the Brentford game. Now, the Brentford game, a lot of fans won't know about this. Brentford and Leeds have a little bit of a rivalry. The reason they have a rivalry is when they're in the Championship. I think it was first of all Neil Maupay who was giving it the big one. I think after that they were obviously both battling to go up. Leeds did, Brentford didn't that season. And also I think Pontus Jansson made the move from Leeds United to Brentford. Leeds had to go at Brentford for being a small club, and Brentford fans understandably didn't like it. And so they've had that little bit of needle since then. Now, Leeds United fans have probably just listened to me talk about that and are rolling their eyes. Feel free, or some Leeds United fans will roll their eyes. Feel free to do that. But what we all know as football fans is the bottom line is it doesn't really matter if you don't see it as a rivalry. What matters is Brentford see it as a rivalry. Brentford have had a very, very good season. Brentford have confidence. Brentford have been very, very good at home. And that game, that final game, for Brentford, who I know, because I know Brentford fans, they do not like Leeds United. That will filter to the team. Thomas Frank loves a little bit of needle. And if Brentford can send down Leeds United, they will give absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. And for that reason, I don't think Leeds United will win another game. I just don't see it. I don't see Leeds United winning another game, because the other thing is, when it's so difficult and you need a bit of help, and again, I've been there, you're clutching at straws and you're looking for that little bit of hope. And of course, you've got someone like Rafinha, who, I mean, came off. I think it was as a bit of a precaution, but, you know, he can offer that little bit of brilliance at times. You know, Calvin Phillips, obviously a wonderful player. There are good players in the squad, but it just feels like there's not enough there. And I think with 2 games to go, where they may well need 6 points. I don't think they will. I don't think Burnley will get more than 4 points themselves. But with the goal difference as well, how weak the squad looks, and the games they've still got to play, it feels like it's over. Leeds United fans, let me know how you feel about this. As I've said, I think it's a few different reasons, but I think actually the biggest critique has to go to the board for not strengthening Leeds United this season, especially in January. You know, they were afraid, they had poor numbers, and they've been relying on kids. And trust me, I've been a QPR fan when we've had a season where we're gonna rely on the kids, and they look like they might be good and it might work out. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You can rely on one, but not as many as you've had to, and some of the signings obviously haven't worked as well. Leeds United fans, let me know how you're feeling. Everton fans, let me know how you're feeling. Burnley fans, let me know how you're feeling. And just generally all fans, let me know how you're feeling. I'm all right, a little bit tired. I hope you guys are okay. I'll see you here tomorrow live for Arsenal versus Spurs. Arsenal fans, if you're a little bit annoyed about the North London derby preview with Flav, I get it. I apologise, but he's my mate and he's a Spurs fan, and so we spoke about it. Okay, but you'll get your tactical review of the game, and it will be neutral because I really couldn't care less who wins the game. Anyway, love you all very, very much. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Love you again.